Are you sick and tired of seeing no sales in your PayPal account every single day? Maybe you're just seeking for proven ways to dramatically increase sales and conversion for all your marketing campaigns. Here's the good news. You don't need to be at the mercy of your prospect anymore. I'm about to reveal to you what's causing you to miss out on a lot of potential sales and how you can immediately start seeing your sales and profits hit the roof. Introducing Instant Conversion Mastery, how to boost your sales conversions in just days from now. Here are a few things you'll learn inside this 14-part video series. The untold psychological weapons you should arm yourself with to make a killing in every single online business you create. Hypnotic techniques revealed that will put your prospects in a position to say yes to everything you say. Uncover the truths behind high-converting sales pages and be surprised at how even the header makes a difference, and so many more. So without any further delay, scroll down this page to secure your copy of Instant Conversion Mastery right now.
Hello and welcome to this video course on how to increase your conversions in your marketing. And we're going to give you an introduction to the course and what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about increasing your conversions in your copywriting, whether or not you're writing sales letters or you're writing product introductions or whatever you're doing in order to sell. We're going to be talking to you about what you can do to do even better than you're doing with your copywriting. I'm going to be giving you a few tips that you can use right away that are going to be actionable that you can put in place and you'll see increased conversions. We're also going to be talking about things that you can do in your email marketing. Many of you already have an email list, and if you are, there are things that you can do in order to increase conversions there. And you already know that really writing an email is not just sending a message. It is copywriting in and of itself. So there are some things that you can do in email that will help you to increase your conversions in whatever your goal is. I'm going to be talking to you about a very important part of the marketing process, which are going to be your squeeze pages. How are you managing your squeeze pages, and what are you doing to make sure that you're getting the maximum conversion? We're going to be giving you some principles that you can use right away, once again, to increase what you're doing with your squeeze pages. We're also going to talk about some things that you can do in the sales process. Things after you've gotten the lead and things after you've made the sale and even the OTO. We're going to be giving you some tips there, again, that will help you to do better when it comes to the person actually making the purchase. I'm going to be talking to you about blogging, and many of you already blog, but are you blogging and are you seeing increased sales as a result of your activity? If you aren't, well, there are things that you can do, and you can use blogging as a way to supplement all the other activities that you are undertaking in order to get sales. So make sure you're tuned in there also. And we're also going to wrap up with some discussion about the basics of marketing, the IDA principle, as well as wrapping up with what I believe to be is a expansion of IDA, a way of you being able to put IDA into more words that you can do more with your marketing with the principle. So we're going to be talking about that also. Now, in order to do this, we're going to be looking at some of the top producing and converting products. You probably have, if you haven't, you'll get an introduction to Eben Pagan and his Double Your Dating product. One of the most highest, or probably one of the highest converting products in well over the last 7 to 10 years. So we'll definitely want to be listening to Eben Pagan and watching what he's doing. Going to be looking at a recent product being done by a gentleman named Mark Thompson. He did something called Webinar Express. Be looking at Robert Plank, who also did a webinar product, but it's been a little while since he did his. It's called Webinar Crusher, and it actually did well and converted very well. So we want to take a look at some of what he has done. So as we do our examples, as we look at some of the things that we're going to be discussing, we're going to be looking at some of these marketers who have been successful in being able to navigate the sales process. Ewan Chia, who works with newbies in internet marketing primarily. He did a product called Autopilot Profits. We're going to be looking at that a little bit. And then Mark Ling, who probably has, well, probably what is considered to be a very successful product. He continues to revamp it, continues to generate a lot of sales and interest in what he's doing. And we're going to be looking at other marketers also. There's a recent product by Ed Dale that you'll want to take a look at, not to buy. Now, these things are not going to be to buy. They're really going to be for you to look at the sales process and what you can do to make sure that your products are converting at the top or at the best possible level that they could be. Okay, so that's going to be it. We are looking forward to really getting a chance to show you what you can do to increase your business with conversion principles, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to how to increase your conversions in your marketing. Now, we've said that we are going to be talking about some of the marketers who have highly converting products and some of the top producers in the industry. So we're going to be looking at Evan Pagan throughout our course. We're going to be looking at Mark Thompson's Webinar Express. Now, it's my understanding that it's no longer for sale, but we can still learn something from their conversion and sales process. We'll be looking at Robert Plank, who has a product called Webinar Crusher. We'll be looking at Ewan Chia, who has a product that has been selling for a long time to newbie marketers, and it's called Autopilot Profits, and we'll be able to glean a lot of details from the way that Ewan Chia does things. We'll be looking at a suite of products from Mark Ling, Affiliorama, and he will be doing things a little differently from just about everyone, and a lot of the rules that you'll see that we'll be talking about, he is actually broken, but you'll get a chance to see a good example of some highly converting products that Mark Ling has built as a result of the relationships that he's built with his affiliates as well as his customers. And then we'll be looking at Jason Flatley and Ed Dale, who has a current launch that you may want to take a look at, and some others. We'll be looking at Video Genesis and some other things like that. So as we go throughout the course, you may want to take a peek at some of those other marketers and then take a look at their sales page and see what it is that you want to adopt to your own sales process. When you do that, do it with your eyes wide open. Do it because of a principle that you're learning in this course, and apply it based on the fact that some of these principles are time tested and they work if you apply them consistently. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to how to increase your conversions in your marketing. In this video, we're going to be talking about copywriting and things that you can do, whether you are doing a sales letter or whether you are doing website copy for a website that you're selling things on. You can increase your conversions by making sure that you are doing all of the basics in terms of copywriting, and that's what we'll be talking about now. One of the best things that you can do is to look at your copy to determine whether or not it's benefits based. Does your copy talk about the features of the products? Does it talk about the features of your company? Or does your website basically talk about the benefits that the customer is going to get? Does it talk about the things that are going to happen in their lives if they go the next step? Does it talk about ways in which they're going to accomplish the things that they want to accomplish? Does it tap into their emotions and their problems? If your website is based on what you think and less about what your customer is experiencing, then you probably have missed the balance between benefits and features. And you want to go back and really look at trying to add things to your copy that are benefits based. If you're not getting the sales that you'd like to get, take a look at your copy to see if it's based on the benefits to your site visitor. Of course, you'll want to use headlines in every major portion of your website or your sales page. And your headline should, again, be benefit-based, but it should grab the attention of the buyer. It should grab the attention and really get them to zero in on what you're saying. And if your headline isn't drawing people in, if it isn't exciting them, this is an area in which you can improve dramatically your conversions. And if you do this, some people will literally hire out copywriters just to write headlines. That's how important they are. Whether you're doing email or a sales letter, make your headline something that attracts attention and gets the reader or visitor to pay attention. Now, there is also a pre-headline. Now, the pre-headline is also designed to grab attention, but it's designed to provide relations. So, in other words, you're going to use it to tie the reader from their emotions to the headline. So, in other words, some of the pre-headlines that you'll see will say something like, attention, offline marketers, or attention, internet marketers, or it might ask a question. Are you tired of making little profits with your copy? So you'll see that the pre-headline is a way of connecting your experience and your emotions as the reader to the headline. Okay, it's going to lead into the headline by tying you to it. There are also subheadlines. Now we're going to see all of this in a minute. So if you'll hang on, I'm going to go through the points here, and then we're going to take a look, and we're going to see these things in action in the actual pages of some of the marketers that we're going to be taking a look at. Subheadlines, which basically give you the opportunity to catch your breath as a reader and to focus in again on what the letter or what the writer is trying to communicate with you. It is a way of getting you to keep reading and keep moving through the copy. Okay, bullets. Bullets are again benefit-based short headlines that again reinforce what the user is going to get. How are their lives going to change? And those bullets reinforce that. When you use images, the images should basically, on balance, show the user or what the user is going to get when they're in the goal position. Or in other words, what are they trying to strive to achieve? What is it going to look like when they achieve it? Well, that's what you want your images to communicate. Whether those images are in the graphics or the header. If you're going to put graphics or images in your sales copy, you want to make sure that the bulk of them, the balance of them, really show the goal position. What is it going to look like? What is the visual going to be when I've accomplished what I'm trying to accomplish? Or when I get the product in my hands, what am I going to have? What is it going to look like? You'll see digital product creators literally take a digital product and create a box or a box with lots of CDs around it. We'll see that. And what that's doing is it's showing you, okay, this is what it's going to be like when you get it in your hands. It's creating a visual for you. It's a goal visual. Now, of course, what we want to do now is we want to take a look at some of these things in action on actual sales pages. Okay, well, we're looking at Dale's page, but I think the best place to start is to start with Eben Pagan. And Eben Pagan has actually changed his approach over the last couple of years, but it's still very effective and it still converts very well. You're going to see here a benefit-based headline. Here's how you want to meet and date the kind of women you've always wanted. Do you understand that that has nothing to do with the actual program? It has nothing to do with telling you how many CDs you're going to get or how many pages the book has. This is about the visitor. The visitor wants to know how they're going to get some result. And everything in the main portion of where the visitor is going to be looking, they're talking about, or the Eben Pagan is talking about what they're going to get. Okay, now, so you also see that there's a headline there, right? Here's how to meet and date the kind of women you've always wanted. Now, there is no pre-headline in this case, but the headline does the job in terms of being benefit-based and grabbing your attention. Notice also that the style is not important. right? In this particular case, his style goes along with his website, but you don't have to have the bright red headline all the time. Sometimes it works and other times it won't. You'll notice that he's got some bullets down here, but again, the real basics are here if you can see them. Okay, now let's take a look at Mark Thompson's Webinar Express, and you're going to see some more of these elements. You can see a headline there, and you're going to see some elements like a subheadline in here. Right? You can see subheadlines here. Need to do webinars, want to do webinars. All of these little places are areas where you're breaking up check out the benefits of Webinar Express. You're breaking up the reading for the viewer or for the visitor so that they can refocus in on your copy. Okay, so in all of these places, we'll take a look here at Ewan Chia's Autopilot Profits here. You'll see some of these elements here again. Here is a pre-headline, right? The internet's fastest, easiest, laziest way, introducing, because easiest and laziest ties you to this way of making money. And then here's your headline, right? And you'll see some sub-headlines here. Imagine seeing cash in minutes from now. Introducing the plug-and-play Autopilot's profit system. Again, a sub-headline. You'll see bullets here. Right? All these little points here are bullets, and basically they then keep you reading the copy. So as you start to think about whether or not these elements are present in your marketing, you can add all of them to increase your conversions, adding bullets, adding images, making sure you have subheadlines, pre-headlines, a headline that grabs attention. All of these things are things that will work in your marketing if you don't have effective copy right now, if you're not getting the results that you want. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to move on to some of the other elements of copywriting. We're going to be talking about proof, social proof, authority, call to action, guarantee, and takeaways. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful to you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to how to increase your conversions in your marketing. In this video, we're going to be talking about increasing conversions some more, and we're going to continue to talk about, in particular, some of the other elements in copywriting. In the last video, we talked about headlines, how those headlines need to be attention-grabbing. We talked about making sure that you have a pre-headline, that the pre-headline ties the emotion of the visitor to the headline. How you have subheadlines in order to let a visitor or a reader catch their breath and to give them the opportunity to refocus on what you're saying in your copy. We talked about bullets and how bullets are little benefit-based headlines spread throughout the copy that give you and reinforce what the user or what the visitor is going to get when they make the purchase. We talked about images and how those images need to be showing the user or showing the buyer what it's going to be like when they get the product. What is the goal position? And you want to, as often as you can, show them what it's going to be like, what their life is going to be like when they get into the goal position. Now in this video, we want to start by talking about a guarantee. And you're going to see that in a couple of places here when we go and take a look at some of the copy. Now your guarantee basically gives your site visitor, it gives them comfort that if they've made a mistake, that they're not going to be out all of their money. Now, does this mean that you're going to have a bunch of people getting refunds? It doesn't have to be. And what you're doing is you are helping this buyer make a decision. Now, most people are not going to get a refund. They're not going to ask you for a refund. But you want to give them assurance that they are working with someone legitimate and that they have made a good choice in making this purchase. So you're helping them to feel good, to feel secure about their purchase. And you're going to be doing that throughout your copy. Okay, you're going to need to have a call to action. Now, in the call to action, you need to direct the buyer to what they need to do next. How do they take the next step? Does the site visitor or the buyer, do they need to opt in? Do they need to put their name and email address in a box to get your free report? Whatever it is, you need to be directive and you need to tell them what to do. You don't need to ask them what to do. You don't need to suggest that they do this. A call to action is a statement, and it's almost requiring them to do that. So in other words, if they want the result that they're going to get and you are certain about what you're offering, okay, you tell them what they need to do. You tell them to take the next action. You don't want to be unsure about the call to action. You want to be sure, because everyone who's going to be spending money, they're not necessarily certain as to whether or not they're making a good purchase or not. You're going to give them that assurance when you give them the call to action. There's also authority, and authority means, do I have the right and do I have the ability to give you what you're seeking? Authority sometimes comes in the form of, and there is some controversy about this in internet marketing, in the form of screenshots that show a marketer's account, their monetary account. And it's been said that those things can be faked and that they ought not be accepted. But if you are telling the truth, okay, you want to do everything you can to demonstrate your authority. Have you had experience, right, in a certain area? Have you been doing something for years that others have not been? Is there an area of your expertise that you deserve to speak to your authority in it? Whatever it is, you bring that authority to whatever you're selling. If it's relevant to selling the product, you add your authority and you make sure that the buyer knows that you have the right to tell them what it is that they need to buy, because you know, as being the person who is already experienced or someone who knows as the authority. You want to add authority to your products and services. That will help you to increase your conversions. Now, there's also proof that what they're about to buy will work, that it will help them to accomplish their goals. Okay, and proof is actually different. We're going to be talking about social proof in a minute, but this is independent proof. Proof that the system works, it works for other people, or this kind of thing works, or proof that it's necessary that the buyer take action. Takeaways. Okay, this is your ability, or this is basically you spelling out to them some form of scarcity, right? So what you're doing here is you are telling them that they're not going to be able to get this product or this service forever at this price. You're saying to them, well, this offer is only going to be available for a certain period of time at a certain, for the price that you're going to get. In other words, you need to act now because it won't be as good as it is forever. You don't have forever to make up your mind. And so you're telling them, look, this offer could change at any time. How you change the offer will be up to you. Do you have to change it according to price? Do you have to take it off the market? You need to give the buyer some time frame, because if they think they have forever, they'll take forever to make a decision. You need to let them know that their decision, they need to make that decision now for their own benefit. If they want the product and they think it's going to benefit them, you need to take it away in this sense, letting them know that, hey, you know what, this is not going to last forever. Lastly, you're going to be talking about social proof. Social proof are your testimonials. Others have had the experience and they've experienced the product or service in a way that's been positive, and you should too. And that's what social proof does. Now, here's the way you take these elements and make them work to increase your conversions. go through your copy and look to see if you have any or all of these elements. If you don't have them, is there a reason that you don't? These copywriting elements are fundamental. If you don't have them, you could be working against yourself in terms of selling a product, and these things are not in your copy. So if you don't have a good reason that they're not there, take a look at your copy to see why they're not there. Is there some reason? Is there some factor that your copy is converting very well without them, and that these things would actually make your copy convert worse? Right? Otherwise, you add these things and make sure they're part of your copy, you will increase your conversions. Now, let's take a look at some of the marketers and see how these things play out in their copy. Okay, now one of the things that we talked about was a guarantee. I'm going to show you what Mark Thompson does here. Notice that all of the words are there, and these are all necessary words for your guarantee. 100%, risk-free, no questions asked, guarantee. All those words are present. Classic copywriting and classic things that will, again, help you increase your conversions. If you're going to offer a guarantee and you're going to do this in this way, all those words will help you to increase your conversion because it's going to help the customer feel good about their purchase. Right? Let's look at a call to action. Call to action is very well played or very well done here in Ewan Chia's product. Click here now for instant download. That's excellent. It's an excellent use of a headline. Very, very well played situation here by Ewan Chia. And you want to make sure, again, we talked about this. Make sure that you're directing the buyer to do what you want them to do. If they want to get the result that your product is promising, they need to take this action, and you should feel good about what you're telling them to do. Okay? If there's some hesitancy, your buyer's going to pick up on that, and they won't buy, or they'll be hesitant, or they'll wait. If you're hesitant, they'll be hesitant. You should tell them exactly what they need to do. Okay? And don't ask. Okay? We talked about authority. Boy, an authority is always important. You're going to see that. You're going to see that here with Ewan Chia. Why does Ewan Chia have the right to tell you about autopilot profits? Well, because here's the proof. Right now, you could say this is proof or what he calls it, but basically this is authority. Right? This is authority. What gives him the right to teach you? Well, here are his results. And if you want anything like that, it doesn't say you're going to get these results. It doesn't say that these are things. He's telling you, I have the right to teach you. I have the right to tell you to buy my product, and you should have this level of authority in your products. What is it about your product in the creation of it or in the conception of it that gives the reader the assurance that it's really worthy to solve their problems? Is it your experience? Okay, whatever your proof, your authority is, again, state it in your copy. Okay, and we talked about proof, right? We talked about proof, and proof is also important as you're looking at making a decision about making a purchase. Okay, so we're talking about proof now, takeaways, and social proof, and these are all related. But now let's pay a little closer attention to these things, and I want to show you now Mark Thompson's sales page. And I talked about differentiating between proof and authority and social proof. And here is the difference. And I think this is an excellent way to use proof by Mark Thompson. In other words, here's why you should buy this, right? Here's why you should consider this. Number one, webinars, right? Webinar marketing works, right? And that's what he's telling people here, that you can earn a lot more money on webinars. right? That's one reason. That's proof that webinars, this product is the right thing to get at the right time. Another set of proof that you'll need to pay up to $500 if you don't buy this product. Again, it's proof that it's a necessary product to buy. Okay. Now, authority. He's provided you other screenshots of earnings that he's done with webinars. Right. But the proof is that this industry, that webinars work, and that they, if you don't do this, you're going to have to pay out a lot more in the future in order to use them. Okay, we might as well take a look here and stay here on Mark Thompson's sales letter to look at social proof. Right, and I'm going to scroll down here, and you'll notice he's got well-known marketers saying that they've used this product and that it accomplishes what a marketer wants, because this product is being sold to the marketers. Okay, and so these marketers are visible, they're well known, and so their testimonial matters, right? It matters to the actual buyer. Okay, and then lastly, I want to take a look at doing a takeaway here, and once again, I'm going to say that Ewan Chia does an excellent job of doing a takeaway, and I want to show that to you here. Okay, get in now before the price skyrockets. So remember, we're trying to tell the buyer, well, look, you don't have forever to make a decision. You've got to make this decision before something happens, right? So the takeaway is, we'll take this away at this price at this time, and if you come back, you might have to pay a lot more, or it might not be here. That's what you're doing in your takeaways, and you'll see that with Ewan Chia's autopilot profits. Okay, and you'll see it done very well even with Jason Filatlian. Now we won't, for the sake of time, we'll just stay here at Ewan Chia. If you look at autopilotprofits.com, you'll see those takeaways. So as you start to, again, look at your copy, see if these elements are present, and if they're not, consider using them unless there's a good reason not to. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to how to increase your conversions in your marketing. And in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to discuss increasing conversion in your email. Now, we're going to look at some of the key points, and then we're going to take a look at split testing inside of Aweber, actually on the site. Now, in order to increase your conversion in email, one of the most important things that you need to do is to consider email as copywriting. And that means that all of the previous discussion that we had regarding headlines, sometimes subheadlines, a call to action, a bit of scarcity, all of those elements that make up good copywriting also make up good emails. Now, if you consider that you are actually trying to get your buyer to take action, that means that you'll need to appeal to their emotion, and that your writing needs to be benefits based. So just as you were writing a sales letter or anything else, you're obviously writing copy and you're writing text, but you must consider that your reader needs to get the benefit of why they need to go, either to click the link that you're suggesting or to take the action that you are asking them to take. One of the other things that you can do to increase your conversion is to find out what part of your email is working and which parts are not. And you can do that by conducting split tests. In most autoresponder services, you have the ability to conduct split tests and to send different parts of your list different emails. And by doing this, when you change one element of the email, you are actually able to test different parts of your marketing. Therefore, let's take a look at the split test inside of Aweber. What you're looking at is an actual Aweber account, and it's a broadcast message being ready to be written and sent out. And what you can do is you can determine each segment of your list, or you can determine different segments of your list will receive a different email. And what you're doing is you're testing to see which headline or which part of the email the different parts of your list will respond to. So this is one way in which you can increase conversions, because what you're going to do is once you determine the better kind of headline or the better kind of body or the better kind of link, you can then start to use those things more consistently and get better results with each email. Now, one of the other things that is suggested that you do is to test greetings. And greetings are the way in which you actually speak, or you actually refer to the visitor or to the reader in your actual email. Now, in order to take a look at this, let's go back to take a look at Aweber again. And what we're going to do is we are going to actually send a broadcast message so that we can take a look at this. One of the things that you are allowed to do is to personalize each email. Therefore, if you click the personalize button, and every autoresponder service has this. Now notice that what this part of your email says has a funny bit of code in there, and it says first name fix. That means that the person's first name is going to be placed in that subject line. You can also do that within the body of your email in different parts. So you can personalize it. Now, why must you test this? Because it has been proven that certain parts of your list may respond well to having their name or seeing their name in an email, and in other cases, some communities or some marketing lists will not respond well because they feel as if that's a phony way in which you're communicating with them. So what you'll need to do is to test your particular list to see which one they respond best to. And you can do that through split testing. So you should always test the greetings to see which one fits best for your particular list. Another thing that increases conversion in email is to basically use email as a way of following up. So when you actually have a buyer, or when you have, a specific, maybe you have an event, you want to use your email list in order to follow up and to find out how your subscribers feel about certain things. You want to find out how your buyers feel about certain things, and sometimes the act of following up will allow you to have another sales opportunity. You'll be able to place your link inside of the email, and you'll get the opportunity to market to someone when you follow up. If you use each opportunity as a way to look out for the best interest of your buyer, then you will get many opportunities in order to sell and to place your links in front of them. If you simply use your email as an opportunity to market, then it's likely that your list or your subscriber list will be turned off by your emails over time. So use the opportunity to use email as a way of relationship building, and you will see your conversions increase. Now, the other thing that you'll want to do is that because email is copy, you want to get the reader to open your email. Now, that's an important part of email, and you'll need to use copywriting techniques, but at the same time, one of the things that you must do in your subject line is to get your reader's attention. If you don't get their attention, then you're not going to even get a chance to put the rest of your copy in front of them. Right? So for your headlines, test different sender names if you're going to use the personalization. Test a different subject line. Test preview lines. Now, what you'll need to do, of course, is you'll need to use the split testing feature inside of Aweber or whatever autoresponder you're using. Now, notice that I said test preview lines. You might wonder, what exactly is that? What is meant by a preview line? Well, let's take a look once again inside of Aweber. Now, interestingly, every email client, whether it's on your PC or it's on your mobile device, will provide the user with a preview of what your email is going to be about. And that preview is typically not only what's in your subject line, but what's also in on the very first line of your email. So if you consider that the very first line or the very first 40 or 50 characters, they're going to be seen by somebody before they open your email, then you want to use that space carefully, and you want to use it in order to uh, convince the reader to open your email. So kind of think about this preview as something that you need to test. Do you want to leave the personalization on this first line, or do you want to make this first line something, again, that's benefit based? Right? Because if you know if the preview is going to make it so that they're going to see benefit based right from inside their email before they open it, then you'll want to make sure that it is. Now, obviously, I just wrote those words benefit based there. It depends on what you would write there, but whatever you put there, you can use it as something that's going to be benefit based, and then you'll be able to tell and test this particular part of your email. Okay, so there are various things that you can test inside of your email to increase conversions. Remember, you're conducting split tests to try to figure out which of these things performs best, which gets people to open, and then once they open, which gets people to actually click your link and to take action. Okay, and so with that, thanks. I will see you in the next video. Okay, in this video, we're going to continue our discussion about how to increase your conversions in your marketing. And in particular, we're going to continue to focus on email in terms of increasing your conversions in the emails that you write. Now, one of the things that you can do, of course, to lend credibility and to provide proof is to use statistics. And because you don't have a lot of time in an email, nor do you have a lot of space to use, you want to try to support your claim that the reader should take action. And one of the best ways to do that is to use statistics from trusted publications and organizations that people will scan and just take almost as fact. So you want to make sure, of course, that you're using statistics that are true, but you want your reader to look at them and to accept them all probably within a split second of reading them, so that they continue reading the rest of your email copy and then move on to click your link or to take action. Now, let's take a look at some of the sources. If you are communicating inside of the Make Money Online niche, one of the things that you can do, you can use the website for statistics, eMarketer. You can use the website Marketing Charts, provides very reliable statistics, and HubSpot.com. Of course, make sure that you give credit to the various organizations when you do that, but in effect, you can get all of the statistics that you need if you use those three sites. Okay, another thing that you can do is you can use action-oriented copy. And actually, you have a couple of bonuses that we are including in your package for emailing that you can use in terms to help you write action-oriented copy in your emails. And so you should take a look at those, at those packages. And action-oriented copy basically means that you want to talk about things that are happening. You want to talk about things that have taken place, real things that you can state, with verbs. So you want to be careful about, being abstract and things that, you're talking about things that people can't see, touch, taste, or feel, and they can't tell if something has really happened. Try to, when you can, talk about something that has happened or is happening. Okay, you want to make your text easy to understand. That means using short paragraphs and short words. And that's really pretty basic. You really don't want to use any paragraphs any longer than 2 sentences. And really that can be long too. Try to keep your paragraphs extremely short and to the point. Keep your words short and to the point. Remember, you don't have long to get people's attention and keep their attention, so you don't want to bore people with a lot of text. You can also use a poll or survey. The website SurveyMonkey will give you a poll that you can put a link in there. And how does that increase conversions, you might ask? Well, what it does is it gives you the exact pulse or opinion of what your list thinks. Now, in one email, it's not going to increase your conversions, but if you start to find out what your readers are interested in and you start to email them based on that, then that will increase your conversions. It'll increase your open rate, and it'll increase the number of times you're able to get your offer in front of them. So you can use SurveyMonkey or the Ask database as good sources to create surveys. Now, one of the things that we suggest you do is to take mobile into account, and that means that you want to keep your emails very narrow and scannable, almost like a newspaper column. Now, let's kind of show you what we mean when we say that. Okay, notice this email that's being written inside of Aweber. Notice how narrow the columns are. Now, it's written that way for a couple of reasons. Number one, so that it can be scannable and easily read. Number two, so that you keep your email short. And also, one of the key factors is that many people are reading emails on their mobile device. And so you want to keep your email columns narrow so that someone looking at their mobile device can read your email and keep it inside of their device without having to scroll over to the right. Because if you do that, you probably decrease the chances that someone's going to complete the reading of your email. Okay, so that's really everything that we need to talk about in terms of increasing your email conversions. With that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to increasing your conversions in your marketing. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about squeeze pages and what you can do to increase your conversions with them. And we're actually going to be looking at a recent launch that was completed by Ed Dale about digital publishing. I'm going to take a couple of looks at his pages so that you can see some of these elements in action right in front of you. Now, we're going to first go through the principles and then we'll go to the pages. Now, one of the things you want to do is you want to use photos of real people, and you're going to see that in Ed Dale's launch and on his squeeze pages. Try to reduce your content on those landing pages. So in other words, you want to make sure that there's no confusion about what the visitor is to do. There shouldn't be 2 or 3 things that they can do. You shouldn't have a lot of other things that they can click on. You want to make sure that you've got the absolute minimum content on those landing pages so that the user or the visitor can take the required action, the action that you want them to take. So you don't want to give them lots of other things to click on and links and things to check out. Make sure that your landing page is clear of other things. Okay, you can include free trials on landing pages. That will get readers, or that'll get people to opt into your list, provided that they know that they're about to get something that is of high quality that they really want. Right? So include free trials. This will help you to increase your conversions if indeed your intent is to get them to opt into your list. When possible, you want to use an image of the actual product. And you're going to see this, and we're going to show you this actually with Ewan Chia. He probably does this better than most. What you'll see is that even though you're getting a digital product, providing an image of the product allows people to make something tangible in their mind and make them feel like they're really getting something substantial. If you don't put an image there, what will happen is people will automatically associate something digital with less than valuable, right? And you want people to feel like your digital products are more than valuable. And one of the ways that you can do that is that you can include in your copy a product image so that you take you take the imagination and the guesswork out of the fact that they're going to get something substantial. Of course, when possible, you want to use videos, and videos allow you to connect with the site visitor. They allow you to connect with your prospect. And so whenever possible, you want to use video on your landing page, when you can do a demonstration, or whenever you can possibly add in video, it's going to help you. Now, and just as you would do with email, you're going to actually also split test your squeeze pages. So now let's go to this series of pages that we have been talking about with respect to Ed Dale and his launch with the digital publishing product that he has put out and will be taken off the market soon. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the video that he's got here. And obviously, this might be the first page that a visitor is going to land on. And what you'll see here is that there's very little other than your being able to make a decision. Okay, now that's obviously the sales page, but in the early parts of the launch, one of the things that people were given was they were given the opportunity to watch videos, and each of these videos led up to the actual revealing of the price and revealing of the rest of the product. Now, you'll notice that we talked about using photos of real things and real people. Well, he's got that covered in a couple of places. He's got that covered really with his social media down here. He's got that covered inside of the video. There are real people in the video. That's important. Okay, we talked about reducing the content on the landing page. There isn't very much here, folks. If you take a look at that, there's nothing much to do here other than to take the action that he wants you to take. You can either watch the videos or you can go to another page. There's pretty much very few things that you can actually do that won't benefit the product creator. Okay, notice that he's giving away free trials here. Get free access to a digital publisher magazine, which helps him to build his list. Right? It's going to be building it on iTunes, but he's still building a list. Okay. Also, we're talking about now in this particular case, you're the only thing that you're not seeing is you're not seeing the product image. And actually, you'll probably see more of the product image in the actual video, which we're not going to play all the way through, but you'll see that in part of the video. So, and really, in this particular case, what he's given you is he's given you probably more video and more of a demonstration that you actually will need, and you probably won't even need to see a product image. Okay, so he's really laid out the value. That's probably another subject, but you'll just kind of notice that all of these things are simple, right? There's not a lot other than you can do. And of course, he's using video. We talked about that. And if you do a page like this, or you do a series of pages like this, you should be split testing, right? You should be talking. You should be sharing. Each page should be sharing the traffic, right? So that you can tell which one does better with the copy or the header, until you get the one that's converting the best. Okay, so you'll see all the elements that we talked about increasing conversions on squeeze pages in this launch, and it's digital publishing blueprint. Depending on when you're watching this video, it may or may not be available, but it is using all these elements that we have been talking about. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay. Okay, welcome back to how to increase your conversions in your marketing. In this video, we're going to be talking about squeeze pages and what you can do to increase conversions in your squeeze pages. Now, we're going to be looking at a squeeze page done by Charles Kirkland and a partner promoting a Facebook ads product. And what you'll see in that product and in the squeeze page that drove traffic to the to their call is that the focus is very narrow, right? So you won't find that there is a lot going on their page, and you're going to see that here in a minute. The content should be above the fold. So again, these are things that you can do on your squeeze pages. And you're going to see that in this very highly converting page. And you're going to see how this really plays into people taking the action that you want. Of course, when you don't have a lot of content, it's all above the fold. It's going to load quickly, and your page should load quickly also. You should have a captivating headline, and it should be focused on the strongest benefit. You're going to see that here also. And again, you can use these things as a checklist. Now, you won't see a bullet list, but you will see an opt-in box, and that's something that your squeeze page should have. And you should have essential pages, privacy policy, terms and conditions, email privacy, and your name and contact information whenever possible. Now, you're going to see that here in this page. So let's take a look at this page right now. Now, remember, we talked about the fact that you should have a very narrow focus, right? There isn't much to discuss here. There's nothing much for you to do other than to opt in. All the content is above the fold. As a matter of fact, there isn't much content at all. And the headline is captivating. It might be a little long, right? But there isn't much more to read. And you'll notice that it's pretty much focused on the benefit, right? People who want leads and people who don't want to spend a lot of time learning it or doing it are going to benefit. Boy, that's a captivating headline. There's an opt-in box there. There are the essential pages. You see that there at the bottom. You'll see the earnings disclosure, terms and conditions, privacy policy, DMCA. All those things are there. Okay, so that doesn't turn people off. As a matter of fact, it gives people trust that you're trying to do things the right way. Your name and contact information. I'm thinking that if you went to look for ES3 Marketing LLC in Limestone, Tennessee, you'd probably find somebody you'd be able to contact. So what you'll see here is that all of these things lend to trust on the squeeze page and can and will lend themselves to your getting more opt-ins, and that is what you want. Okay, so make sure that you look at that example and then use these things on your squeeze pages to make sure that you are getting the maximum conversions. Okay, and with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to how to increase your conversions in your marketing. In this video, we're going to be discussing things that you can do once you've already gotten the lead and things leading into the checkout or the sales process. Now, one thing that you can do, and you're going to see this in a very successful marketer and very high converting pages done by Jason Flatland. And you're going to see multiple tier premium options will give a buyer lots of price points that they can choose from and they can even trade up for. And this will get, and sometimes if you give buyers if you've done a good job of really convincing them that they need your product, giving them some other options will actually increase your conversions. You'll get them to buy something. Maybe not everybody can afford your premium option, but people will opt for the option that's in the middle or opt for an option that's lower because they just like to be inside of the product. So multiple tier premium options can help you. You do want to be careful with this, and you do want to test it like you do with everything else. The standard rule in marketing is that a confused mind will not buy. So you don't want to confuse your buyer. You want to make sure that they are in the right frame of mind where they're making a decision so that multiple options won't throw them. You want to reduce steps in the checkout process. Now, Jason actually has probably at least 2 or 3, which might be one more than normal. But what you'll see is that the checkout process is very simple, and it's actually going to be it's going to lend to people's trust with all the other elements. But in general, you don't want to have a lot of steps people have to take in order to buy from you. Okay? Now, next, one of the things that you want to do is that you want to make sure that you have a phone number on your site. Now, this is not going to be common, right? And what you'll find is that this lends trust. It will increase your conversions. People want to be able to know, or people want to know that they can get somebody if something goes wrong. They'll rarely use your number, but they will have it. And you want to get right to the point in the process. You don't want to have a lot for your buyer to do and to read. Otherwise, you can really torpedo your conversions. You can really give buyers a reason to click off and go away someplace. When possible, now this is interesting, real things. You want to have real things that people can touch, taste, see. Now, they can be digital photographs, but they should be digital photographs of real things, not digital things, right? Wherever possible, if you can have a video with someone real, or a real picture or a real image of something real that's happening, these things actually do boost conversions, especially once a person has already opted in. So now let's take a look, and actually, we talked about this before, but yeah, you do want to have a few clicks to order, and when possible, you want to have a single sign-up column, and when possible, you want to have your call to action to the left. Okay, so all these are things that you can test in your marketing. What I want to do now is I want to go to a very successful marketer's grouping of pages, and you can learn a lot just by looking at his grouping of products, right? So there are a lot of products that Jason Flatley has done. They've been successful, and you can learn a lot by going through the checkout process and really taking a look at what is actually happening, right, with their checkout. Okay, having said that, let's look at one product in particular, Webinar Legend. Now, Webinar Legend has those multiple tiers, right? Okay, and there aren't many steps in the checkout process, even though there might be one more than you're used to. So you've got to accept the terms and conditions, and this is really almost necessary these days, because you want to make sure that people understand under the terms at which they're actually buying. Okay, so maybe this is something that he's tested also. Okay, so once you have accepted these terms, okay, you go to PayPal and then you can order. Right? Notice at the bottom there's a phone number and part of the site. Right? As well as support here. Okay, only a few clicks in order to make your order. Okay, you're going to get an instant download, of course. Okay, and then everything's in one column, and the call to action is on the left. Okay, everything's going to be on the left-hand side that you've got to do of this actual page. Okay, all of those things will help the buyer to continue through the process, and when possible, you want to use these elements also. Okay, so those are all the things within our post-lead generation or sales process. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to how to increase your conversions in your marketing. Now in this video, we're going to be talking about increasing conversions in your blogging activity. Now, one of the things we're going to be talking about doing is creating demo videos and videos on your site that help people to use the things that are on there. And one of the things that you'll want to consider before I go on to the next point. Now, we're going to be taking a look at a blog by a gentleman whose name is Pat Flynn at Smart Passive Income. We're going to see many of the elements we're going to be talking about here in this video. Your goal is typically going to be to get people to opt into your list where you can sell them. It's rare people are going to come to your blog for the first time and didn't just buy. You want to try to get them to opt in. Okay? Now, Having said that, one of the things that you can do, of course, you can add audio. Okay, and you're going to see that on Pat's site. You can use pop-ups in order to make sure that it's obvious that you want their name and email address. Now, you're not going to see Pat Flynn do that, and there is there's some debate in the marketing community as to whether or not pop-ups are still effective or whether or not they are a turnoff. Once again, this is something that you will have to evaluate, okay, based on testing. And you probably realize that is a theme throughout what we have been saying. You have to test before you decide what you like and what you don't like. Okay, if you are wanting results, you want increased conversions. Okay, your preference, for all intents and purposes, is not going to be as important as to what the numbers are going to tell you. Okay, another thing you can do is to provide live support. Now, you actually saw that on Jason Flatney's site, but we're going to show you what that's going to look like on a blog. All these things can help you to increase your conversions in terms of selling. So now, again, remember that the goal is going to be to get people to opt in. So with that being said, let's take a look at Pat Flynn's site. And right away, you're going to see two things. You're going to see a demo video, right? And when you click that, it's going to go right away. It says, please watch this 1-minute video first, and he's going to tell you how to get around the site. Isn't that great? Creating a demo video. It's going to tell you exactly how to benefit from his site. I think that is ingenious and something that anybody can do, and something that you should do if you are a blogger. He's got iTunes podcast, so if you are an audio person, you can get audio. If you are a video person, you can get more video. You can see that up there. Now, he's not using a pop-up, but very clearly he wants you to opt into his list, and it's all above the fold. You can see that there. Okay, you got to put your name and email address to get his ebook guide. Okay, again, very important. You want to make sure people know what you want them to do. Okay, now, one of the things that you'll notice is that all of these things are strategically placed. They're not placed by accident. So what I'm going to suggest that happened, and I have not read this, but you probably will find that a lot of these elements were tested. Colors were tested. Positions of things were tested. And so this will really then really determine, and should determine, where you place things on your site because of what they cause people to do. Okay, so you should be evaluating your metrics all the time. Now, in this particular case, okay, there is no live support on the site, right? There's no live support, but there is a place to contact Pat. Now, I don't know him personally, but you can contact him. Now, whether or not you're going to add live support to your blog, probably if you have a product that you're selling, a physical product at that, then that's a good place for you to have live support. Maybe in this case, you probably wouldn't want to have it. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. We'll be talking more about blogging and increasing your conversions. Okay, welcome back to how to increase your conversions in your marketing. Now in this video, we're going to be talking more about blogging, and we're going to continue on Pat Flynn's page. Now we just saw the video on Pat's page. Now it's actually an image of a video leading to the actual video, but the effect is the same. It is a video that actually gives you an introduction to his site, and that is very important. It's very prominent, and when we go back to Pat's page, you're going to see how prominent he wants that to be the first thing you see and take action on, is to click that link. Now, why that it's a link to the video on another page? That's probably something that they tested, and again, you're going to kind of run into that theme throughout this presentation on increasing your conversions. Test everything. Okay, the other thing is that your pages should load fast. They should really lend themselves to people staying on your page. You don't want them getting turned off because it takes too long for your page to load. And that you'll have to take into consideration mobile also. You want your page to load quickly on mobile also. And once again, probably your goal in blogging is list building. Okay, so if you sell something, I think that's fine. You can always sell better when you get people onto an email list. So you're going to see that on Pat's page again. Prominent on his page is not something for you to buy. What's most prominent is opting into his list. Okay, and at times you can have customer photos on your homepage, and there are ways to do that. Of course, you know, if you're doing social media or some other form of social or Facebook or Twitter, you can actually have customer photos on the homepage, and that will help you decrease in conversions because your customers will connect to your actual page. Now, so let's take a look again at Pat Flynn's page here. Okay, so let's go back to the start here. Now we talked about the video that's going to be on your home page, and of course that's right here. Don't know where to start, you're going to go there. The pages are loading nice and fast. Now, you know, in some cases you can have your Facebook box running down the side here. Okay, so you've got your customer photos there. Okay, and then of course what's going to be right up front is list building, right? Very important. So Pat's got all the important elements that all these things, if you implement them, right? If you can implement these things, these are going to increase the number of conversions that you get from your blog. You're going to increase the number of people who opt in, especially when you make it prominent that that's what you want them to do. Right? And more than likely, if you go to this page, you watch the video, they're going to suggest that you opt into his list. Right? So you're getting a real, just by looking at this one blog, right? You're getting a real education on how you can increase you can increase the number of favorable actions that your visitors take when they come to your blog. So there are probably more than what we've listed here. Take a look and see what Pat's done. See which ones fit your market. Test everything and implement. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to how to increase your conversions in your marketing. In this video, we're going to be discussing the classic and fundamental formula in marketing, which is the AIDA formula. And this will help you to increase your conversions if you implement it. Now, obviously, AIDA it's an acronym, and each one of the letters has a particular place in a formula. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at each one of these elements inside of Ewan Chia's sales letter, because this product is the classic product. It probably sold I wouldn't say it's going to be the one that has sold the most in history, but it is the classic product that converted extremely well and probably still makes sales even today. Okay, so the first part of the formula is that you want to grab the visitor's attention or the reader's attention, and you want to do it quickly. Okay, so when someone comes to your page, your headline, your video, whatever it is, and incidentally, if you're going to put a video on your page and it's not going to autoplay, you should probably not put it on there, because again, the purpose of having a video, of course, is to make the connection. But if you're going to put it on there, you're going to take up a lot of space if you're not going to make it so that people are going to watch the video. Okay, so you want to, if you're going to use a video, you want to make it autoplay so that video, your first line, should grab people's attention. You're actually taking your sales process and you're putting it in video. So grab people's attention. And regardless of what you're doing, you don't have long to get their attention. When they come to the page, you should be working really hard to get them to pay attention to you and what you're saying. The next thing is, now that you've got their attention, okay, you've gotten their focus, You've got to interest them. You've got to attract them into your argument. And you do that by highlighting the benefits, not the features of what you're offering, not everything wonderful that you've got in your product or service or your company. Highlighting the benefits. What is it going to do for them? How's it going to change their life? If you're doing that, then what's going to happen is they're going to keep reading. They're going to keep following this because it's going to be about them. When people come to your page, they're trying to they don't care about you and I as marketers. They care about themselves. They're looking to get more of what they want, and so you got to highlight the benefits of what they're going to get. Okay, desire. Okay, so what is it that people really want? They want more freedom. Okay, they want to be healthy. They want good. They want great, long-lasting relationships. They want to belong, and you have to tap into that desire when you're speaking to them. When you get their interest, right, and they're interested, and you're talking about how your product, how what kind of what kind of benefits you're going to get. You've got to be tapping into their deepest desire. You've got to touch them at an emotional level, right? Because if you're not working and trying to touch them at an emotional level, okay, you're not that excited about what you have, then it's going to be hard to make a sale quickly, right? You've got to tap deeply into their emotions with your words or with your videos. And of course, once you have tapped into their desire, you've got to get them to take action, and you've got to motivate them. And so, you're doing things like, giving them scarce aspects of the product. It's not going to be around forever. You've got to motivate them to take action. Okay, not just to tell them that they can, that they want to, or if they like to, maybe they can, if they get around to it, or just make a good decision. No, you've got to motivate your visitor to take action. Okay, you've got to grab them by the shoulders and really try to move them toward either deciding they're going to buy or just moving on. Okay. Okay, now you can use other formulas. Other formulas that work probably alongside of them is one called problem, agitate, solve. In other words, you find a problem that people are desperate to solve, and then you agitate that problem. You tell them, hey, this is what life's going to be like if it's going to get worse, and you tell them and you describe in excruciating detail how the problem's going to get worse if they don't do anything to solve it. And then you provide them the solution. Problem, agitate, solve is another way to approach this aspect of increasing your conversions. Okay, as you begin to look at your process of convincing people to sell, to buy, take a look to see if AIDA is there. If you can't do AIDA because of what you're selling, see if you have talked about the problem that they're having, if you've agitated that problem, and if your product or service is the solution to solving it. Now, let's take a look at another page here, and let's take a look at Ewan Chia's sales page here. Okay, now this product has been selling for a long time. Okay, so this is not a new sales page. So one of the things you'll see, and you're probably wondering, well, right at the top, well, why is there an opt-in page there? And by the way, if you really want to learn about how to increase conversions, it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to opt in to this page, right? Autopilot Profits. And just see how he does things, and see how he writes his emails, and see how he does and gets people to buy. Okay, you don't have to buy anything, but you do want to take note of what he's doing and how he's doing it. Now, you'll notice that there's a squeeze portion, right? He's asking for your name and email address, and that's right. It's right at the top, at the very first thing you're seeing. He's trying to grab your attention, and that's why in big red letters, wait before you continue. Very important. Okay, now let's go down to the traditional sales page that sold the product. Probably that opt-in form was not always there. Okay, take a look at that headline, grabbing your attention. It's a turnkey money machine. Okay, automatically, and you see the lazy way. All things that are going to be trigger points for people who want to make money and maybe they don't have time or they haven't been successful. In other words, boy, if someone else can make money and be lazy, if I'm willing to work hard at it, I probably can. The headline's very important. It's going to grab your attention. Okay, so then now he's going to start talking about um, things that things that will benefit you. What are you interested in? Okay, you're interested in look, literally minutes a day. I choose to work at all, even if I don't do a thing. Do you think that interests people? Do you think that's a benefit? You think that's going to be more important to them than what you have in your product? Of course it is. People that's what people really want. Now, is it realistic that everybody's going to get that? I don't know, right? I don't know how much effort that they're going to put in, and neither do you. However, this is what makes people take action. Okay, that is what they want to hear. They want to hear that this is the way that they are going to move their business forward. Okay, he's tapping into their desire, interest and desire all through it. Imagine seeing cash minutes from now, right? I mean, this is really tapping into their deepest desire and getting them interested. Okay, you'll see all these bullets here, and they're really uh, many headlines we've been saying. As you scroll through this letter, right? You scroll through this sales letter, you're going to see in here again. He's just constantly tugging on the benefits of the product. Okay, not the elements that are in it. Okay, you're going to see the guarantee in there. So all these things at this point, as you move further down the letter, he's giving you every motivation he can to take action, right? Once you get this set up, you'll make money automatically 24/7. Your checks show up automatically. It doesn't have to cost you a dime. Again, now, you don't have to use this kind of language. You might think, well, that's a little too much hype, right? Now, that's fine. You want to use it your way and motivate people to take action. Okay, that's what you were trying to do. You're trying to get them to take action and take action now, right? Okay, so in this particular case, so you've really seen the AIDA formula being done here, and I would suggest that you go back through this letter yourself and just write down the letter A, letter I, letter D, letter A, every place where you see them there. And then go back through your sales letter and your sales process to see, do you have, the same level of trying to get people to take action? Of course, if you do, okay, then you can improve on this by implementing problem, agitate, solve wherever you can. Okay, so now with that, thanks. And again, this is a very important formula, fundamental formula, and I hope that you will take action in getting it into your business. Okay, welcome back to how to increase your conversions in your marketing. Now we're going to conclude by just wrapping up some of the thoughts that we've been having and what we have been seeing. And basically, one of the things that you can do to increase your conversions really starts before you even start marketing at all, and that is dazzling your customer with your actual product. And if your product is dazzling, it really almost takes care of itself in terms of what you're really offering. Are you really giving them something that really dazzles them? And in some cases, when we have a digital product or we're putting something together that comes out of our experience or our thought, we want to make sure that it really does really dazzle our customers. Okay, and this will help us to write good headlines. It'll motivate us to write great subheadlines. And sometimes one of the reasons why it's difficult to write for a product is that we're not all that excited about it, and we're not sure if it's going to really just knock their just really get them off to a great start in their life, or really push them further in terms of what they want. That's what we want our products to do. We want it to dazzle our customers. We want to get into their emotions and understand our customers in our product design and in our copy. We want our customers to feel like we get them, that we understand. We want to give them more of what they want. And it's not about what we want. It's what they want. We want to get into, we want our copy to really let them know and convince them that this is the product they need to buy, and they need to buy it now. Why? Because it's giving them more of what they really, really want. And so we mesmerize them. We hold them still with our story, right? We mesmerize them. Okay, and then we get them involved with us. We get them involved in our company, or in every aspect of our business. We want them to feel as if they are involved with us. Now, these are things that, they're not things that you can necessarily look at on a particular page, but they are really what we have been talking about throughout the video course. You'll see these elements throughout. Now, you should take these 5 elements and go back through your products and services and see, have you really dazzled them with what you're offering? In your copy, is it really evident that you get your client? You really know them? Are you giving them more of what they want? Is that evident in your copy? Did you tell a good story as to why this is important? Did you allow them to be involved in you? Are you involved with them on social media? Okay, see, all these things are important. They will help you to increase your conversions. Now, in the last video, we're going to get into more of our concluding thoughts on increasing conversions. And with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome to this final video on how to increase your conversions in your marketing. And want to conclude our thoughts with 4 final things that you can do to increase your conversions with future and repeat buyers. First of all, you want to be authentic. You want to make sure people are trusting you and that you are yourself. So don't try to be someone that you're not. Be the best that you can be. Give the most that you can give, but be authentic. People will recognize your authenticity, and then they will resonate with it, and that will help you in all of your future sales. Always surpass people's expectation. I mean, this goes without saying that this will make people want to buy your second and third product. So always seek to over-deliver in what you're doing. Be authoritative. In other words, make sure that you deserve, right? Make sure that what you put into your product or service is that it comes with everything that all of your experience, all of what you have learned. Be authoritative when you're marketing. Express the fact that you have had experiences that will help the person that that's going to be purchasing, or that you have demonstrated, or that you have tested, or that you have put something together that is proven to have worked. Be authoritative, learn to live that way, and then buyers will recognize that you really deep down know and believe that what you have is worthy of their time and worthy of their hard-earned dollars. Finally, we've said a little bit about this in the first concluding video, and that is, finally, make sure that your product is something that you're proud of. And this will increase your conversions because there's an intangible factor in all of your marketing, and that's confidence. Sometimes you won't get all these elements right. Sometimes you won't say all these things. And sometimes you won't do all of these things exactly like the other marketers. There's nothing that can take the place of your enthusiasm and your confidence about your product. When you have confidence and enthusiasm, sometimes that can overcome things that you're still learning how to do in terms of doing the necessary things to increase your conversions. So make sure that your product is something that you deep down, you really feel like it's going to help that person. It's really something that you love and that you're proud of and that you know it's going to really benefit them. Okay, so I hope that this entire course has been helpful to you. It has been my pleasure creating it for you. And with that, thanks. I will see you either in another video in this course or in another course.